Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry's the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/ACAST.
The kettle's boiled, Vic.
Great. Perfect timing. Just a dash of milk for me, please, mate.
Here you go. Shall we get started then?
Have you ever woken up on a Sunday morning and said, I'm never drinking again, and then found yourself waving $50 at a barman by happy hour?
Are you wondering why everyone else can stop at 1 while you head to a dodgy after-party with a weird bloke called Disco Dave? If so, it might be time to take a deeper look at your relationship with your reliable social crutch, alcohol.
On each episode, we'll investigate our own dysfunctional dealings with booze and find out if it's possible to stop this deeply ingrained habit before things get too messy.
Yep, we're going to open up a shame shed of humiliating drinking stories to help you understand why waking up from a booze coma each weekend with a kebab sticking out of your top pocket might actually be negatively impacting your health.
Hamish and I are here to delve into what it's like being sober, an unwanted warts and all look into why giving up those cheeky pints or putting down those mummy wines will make you feel happier, help your anxiety and mental health, and turn you into the most sparkly, authentic version of you.
Won't that mean I become boring though, Vic?
Well, Hamish, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm Victoria Vanstone.
I'm Hamish Adams-Cairns.
And this is Sober Awkward. I'm going to start with a trigger warning today, Hamish. Today's episode is all about drink driving. If you or a loved one has ever been involved in an incident, please be aware that in this episode we will discuss drink driving in depth. Good week, Ham?
I am just coming off the back of Liz's birthday celebrations.
Yes.
You know how you say the older I get, the less I care about my birthday?
Yeah.
I think maybe that is true in that the age going up gets a bit more depressing. But my God, we give it a swing of the bat.
Oh, great.
4 days.
Yeah.
Friday night, her favourite singer in the world, Mark Wilkinson, was here.
Yeah.
Saturday, our favourite local singer was playing at a local brewery. Sunday, she went down to the beach and had prawns and a little picnic during Sunny's nap. Monday, we both take the day off, put Sunny into daycare. Breakfast, lunch, beach, books.
Oh, nice.
4-day celebration, yeah.
It sounds very chill, though. It doesn't sound too hectic.
It was pretty chill.
It's like an Indian wedding, your birthdays, aren't they? They go on for ages.
Yeah. What did you do this weekend, Vic?
So I made lemonade with Nell, actually. She made $50. I lost about $100 supplying all the stuff. Yeah. But she did earn a bit of extra cash, which was great. Anyway, you heard from the trigger warning of today's episode. It's all about drink driving. So if you're looking for a laugh, I think that's about it. We've done it, haven't we, Hayden?
That's it.
That's the laugh is over. If you're looking for some genital-related jokes, then maybe go and watch an episode of Little Britain instead. I'm going to be honest with you today, Hamish. I have really questioned writing this episode. We haven't done it in the whole 3 years of Sober Awkward.
Surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, I've avoided it.
Why?
Because I'm embarrassed that I did something so stupid.
Vic, there is no shame in this room or on this podcast, as you well know. This is a necessary and important episode. It's as awkward as it gets for you, and it's a topic that needs to be discussed. I'm eager to find out why people so often get into their cars after drinking. What's happening in our brain that makes these individuals think that it's okay?
Yeah, me too. Even though I've done it, I still have these questions, Hamish. I'm not sure what I was thinking. We hope today you sober awkward people out there will learn a little bit why people drink and drive, the impact it has on their lives and the lives of people around them. We're also going to talk to a friend of mine called Penny and discuss the shame and humiliation that she experienced after a drink driving offence. We're also going to talk about the amount you have to drink to make driving a danger, and if there is anything that can be changed to stop people getting in a car when under the influence. Have you ever been in a car with a drink driver, Hamish?
I would say numerous times.
Yes.
Over and over again. I've never been the driver, but I've certainly been a passenger in a drink driving car. I would say as a kid at school with my mates' parents, they were all pretty lax about it. I actually think the generation above us probably are a little bit more lax than we are. I've been on the back of a moped in India, I think, and Thailand when the driver's been drunk. I think I've also ridden quad bikes whilst drunk.
Yeah.
Like in a field, not on a road. But yeah, I guess that's probably the only time I've actually driven something when I was drunk
probably
myself.
even more dangerous,
Quad
isn't it?
bikes are dangerous
Quad
anyway,
bikes,
yeah.
all you hear is about quad bikes.
Yeah. This has probably happened too many times to remember, to be honest. I do think that probably the only time that I've ever actually drink-driven a car would be the morning after a party.
Mm-hmm.
So you wake up and you drive yourself home. I've never blown into a breathalyzer at that point or been stopped, but I guess I would be pretty close to the limit. I know that a few people that I know have been done on the way to work on a Monday after having had a big Sunday night, and you haven't drunk for X amount of hours, but there's still enough in your system. So yeah, my experience of it, I guess, pretty ordinary. I guess a lot of people would be able to relate to mine. Yours is obviously a little bit different. I know it's hard for you to talk about this. You have included it in your book because you have first-hand experience of drink driving. So can you tell us that story, please, Vic, for those that haven't read the book?
I'm going to agree with you there that I would think that a lot of people have had an experience of drink driving, whether it's in someone else's car. I think before, as a teenager, I got in older kids' cars that I thought were cool, that were probably under the influence, that I never even asked whether they'd had a drink. And I didn't realise how much I was putting myself at risk. So even before I drove myself, I do think I'd put myself at risk in other people's vehicles. But when I was 19, I was living in Brighton. I was at a stage of my drug taking and drinking that was out of control. It had kind of peaked at that point. I had no care for myself or anything else. I will say that to start with. I'm not going to make any excuses for my behaviour today. It was the worst thing I've ever done in my life, was to get behind a wheel under the influence of alcohol. I want to look at it from a few different point of views today as well. I was working at a pub at the time. I was drinking at work. My car was just parked on double yellow lines and I wanted to move it instead of getting a ticket. I mean, it sounds like a really minor thing. I should have just left it to get the ticket. I didn't. Instead of walking to the Escape nightclub on the seafront, I got in my car with two other people. I'd drunk probably 4 or 5 pints at work and I knew I was over the limit. But I convinced myself that I was okay to move the car. Alcohol gives you a level of confidence, doesn't it? Which kind of broke down my rational train of thought. It's just a little street down the road. I'll move the car. End of story.
So how far were you going to try and move it?
I was going to move it probably 100 metres.
Okay, yeah.
But I actually pulled out of the space and went the wrong way down the road. It was a one-way street and I pulled out and went a one-way street in the opposite direction. Straight away. And I saw the blue lights behind me within 15 seconds of starting to drive down the one-way street. Which was lucky, actually, because I didn't get any further and I didn't hurt anyone. Actually, the blue lights behind me at that point in that drive were the best thing that could probably have ever happened because it stopped me in my tracks before I hurt anyone or hurt myself.
So what happens? They stop the car, open the window. Is it straight to breathalyzer? Do they smell it on your breath? Like, what's the conversation that happens between you and the coppers?
It's straight to breathalyzer.
Yeah.
I think the first thing I said was, can we forget about this?
Really?
Yeah, because I just thought, I'll just park the car. I remember trying to sort of talk my way out of it to the police lady and just saying, can we just forget about this? I'm going to park the car over there. I can just go on my way. It was a silly mistake and I kind of tried to chat her up in a way. She wasn't having any of it, of course. She was just doing her job. They sat me in the car. I was breathalyzed. I knew it was going to be over the limit. And then they just tell you to get out of the car. And they say, we're arresting you for drink driving. And they put you in the police car and take you to the station.
Did your friends come with you?
They did, actually. Yeah. I didn't know they'd followed me later on in the night. They were all waking. But actually, they weren't really even friends. They were just people that I was hanging around with at the time. Actually, I think one of them was a dealer. It was really dodgy, really not nice. People that I don't think I ever saw again after that night. But when I woke up the next day and was let out of the cell, they were all there waiting for me, causing trouble outside, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So I spent the night in a jail.
Yep.
Which was awful. There was blood spurted up the walls. There was a hole in the ground for a toilet. I could hear people crying. I was crying. I could hear the jingling of keys. It wasn't somewhere I ever imagined I would be in my life. I didn't feel like a criminal, but the fact was I was, which...
Were you drunk enough to pass out, or were you up all night?
No.
Just guilt, yeah.
I had horrible anxiety. I was up all night sitting in a cold room thinking you've well and truly fucked yourself now. Yeah. I was embarrassed. I was really, really embarrassed and humiliated that I had done something so stupid, even though I knew better. I knew I was going to be letting a lot of people down. Yeah. So I had to go to court and plead guilty. I wore a suit. I felt really weird going into a courtroom. I didn't feel like the other people there. I thought, God, what am I doing here? And I had to go and admit my guilt in front of a room full of people. I was banned for a year. I didn't tell my parents until I got the fine, because obviously I couldn't pay my fine because I was just a student, Yeah. And that was awkward because it was really humiliating. I'd let them down, and I was just really kind of tried to avoid it ever since then. I've never even thought about it. You would have hoped that that was a turning point for me, that I'd been such an idiot and I'd ended up in a jail cell and lost my car for a year, that I would have, had a knock on the head and gone, Vic, this isn't working for you anymore. But of course that didn't happen. I was so deep within my drinking culture that by that point, I was 21 years old or something, 19 or 21, I can't remember, that I never ever stopped to question my alcohol intake at that point.
Did you ever get behind the wheel of a car drunk again?
Never.
Did you ever get into a car with a drunk driver again?
Never.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so it did have an effect of sorts, at least on drink driving, if not on your drinking overall.
Absolutely, and I'm actually glad it happened when it did, because it happened in almost safety. I'd just driven a little way down the road and they got me at the right time. I'm actually glad it happened. I believe it would have carried on.
How much was the fine?
I think it was £900.
Yeah.
Which I didn't have at the time.
Which back you're 19, so 1934.
Yes,
that was
about
a lot of money.
$1 million now.
Although I've said that, I haven't been too affected by drink driving myself, it has actually affected my life a lot, because one of the defining moments of Liz's life involved drink driving. When she hosted a house party and her friends stayed over, and the morning after, I think 3 of them got in a car and drove into a tree. I think all of them died. Or the 4 in the car and 3 of them died.
Wow.
And she was, 18, 19, hosted the party.
Oh, wow.
Immense guilt, immense, shame.
Yeah, so shame involved with the people that weren't even in the car.
Yeah.
That's the impact that we're going to talk a little bit about this morning.
Yeah. But thank you for sharing that. I know it's not an easy one for you to talk about. I can actually sense the shame in you as you talk like that. There are so many people that have done what you've done. They've had a few pints of mates, they felt okay, made the decision it'd be easier to drive than get a cab. You always hear the phrase, it's only down the road, it'll be fine. But when you drink, it affects so many aspects of your awareness and your ability behind the wheel. You might feel okay, but even just one will affect you and could change your life and the lives of others forever.
Such a good point, Hamish. There seems to be some confusion about how much people are allowed to drink and still drive. I was talking to this is my dad's idea, this podcast, because he was thinking about it himself. He's been drinking a few stronger beers but only having one. So he just presumed that because he's just having one, he's still under the limit.
Yep.
And he was questioning this. He's been writing down a few facts for us, Hamish. He actually told me to do this episode because he's worried about all those craft ales, which we talked about last week, didn't we? There are so many stronger alcohols out there, so the information gets really confusing. Is having one of them compared to having one glass of wine, does it mean you're still okay to drive? What are the legal limits? At a guess, what would you say the government restrictions are, Hamish?
Okay, so I reckon you can have 2 standard drinks and be legally under the limit. I'm not entirely sure what a standard drink is. I think in England it was like a pint and a half. So here maybe 2 schooners. That's what I would guess. Okay,
so you do a sobriety podcast and you don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know what a standard drink is.
We don't need to know, thankfully.
No, we don't need to know anymore. A standard pint of fizzy water doesn't count.
Yeah.
But I am absolutely amazed by this. This has been like the most eye-opening podcast I've ever written in the 3 years of doing Sober Awkward, because the information is so lax. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Yes, it is just terrible. You and I do a sobriety podcast, Hamish. We do know a lot about the sober world and about the impact of booze, yet we don't know these numbers. We don't know exactly what a standard drink is, and that means probably the whole of Australia doesn't either. So we're going to find out the facts about that today. In Australia, it is an offence to drive while your BAC, which I had to look up, which is your blood alcohol content, is 0.05 or above. Means nothing to me.
No.
Means nothing.
No idea.
It's annoying, isn't it? I'm going to get more and more riled as this episode goes on, Hamish.
Shall I give you a massage at the end of this episode?
No, please don't. I can't have your dirty little mitts all over me.
I'll do your feet.
Yeah, they're not like my mum's. Your BAC should remain below 0.05 if you drink no more than 2 standard drinks in the first hour and 1 per hour thereafter for men of an average size. Okay, see all the limits we're going to add on
Again,
here.
what is average size?
Okay, exactly.
Yes.
Or drink no more than 1 standard drink per hour for women of an average size. So they're also saying that you can have 1 drink and then carry on having drinks throughout the night, 1 an hour, and still be okay to drive.
So if you're in the pub for 5 hours, you have 2 in your first hour and then 6 pints in 5 hours, or 6 standard drinks in 5 hours, and you're okay.
That is the government information they're giving you. Yeah. Yeah.
That took me a long time to do that maths.
Yeah, it makes it sound like you can keep drinking, a drink an hour, and it's still okay to drive.
Yes.
That is on the government website, okay?
In the UK, which is England, Wales and Northern
I don't
Ireland...
think we need to explain that.
Do we have to explain that? Not Scotland or Republic of Ireland. The drink driving alcohol limit for drivers is 80 milligrams of alcohol per 100 millilitres of blood.
So if you're looking up this information online, Hamish, that is what it tells you. Yeah. How the fuck are you supposed to know how much alcohol is in your blood when you're sitting in a pub ordering a pint?
Yeah. Well, that is known as the blood limit.
Yeah.
And then 35 micrograms per 100 millilitres of breath. That's the breath limit.
God,
it's like a science degree to understand this.
Yeah.
I'm actually more confused than I was at the start.
I know, so am I. Let's be honest, does that make any sense to you whatsoever? None. Would you know what your BAC is when you were sat in the pub and ordering around?
Of course not.
No.
It's all very well telling us these numbers, but unless you leave the house with a special bleepy machine that can measure this, how the fuck is anyone going to know it? Right. Let's just find out what a standard drink is here, because even that bit I find confusing.
Okay, this is it. It's only going to get more confusing. Okay, which is wherein lieth the problemeth Hamish. Okay. A standard drink is always equal to 10 grams of pure alcohol.
Yeah,
For example, a full-strength beer is 1.1 standard drinks. Mid-strength beer in a small glass is 0.8. Low-strength beer in a small glass is 0.6. Don't worry, it gets even more confusing still. Bottled beers are usually more. So
Stronger
and larger, actually.
Yeah.
For example, a bottle of beer is bigger than a small glass and is 1.4 standard drinks, which I would have counted as 1 before I did this research.
Yeah,
I just thought they were just serving you 1 standard drink.
Yes.
You think the man behind the pub, the barman, goes, okay, this is 1 drink, here is 1 standard drink, but that is not the case at all.
So confusingly, none of the lists that you just mentioned, full strength, mid strength or low strength in a small glass, none of them are 1 standard drink.
No.
They're either just over or just under.
Yeah.
Okay, so the maths is never going to be as even as you want it to be.
No.
You're going to have to have like 1 bottle of beer and then like a couple of sips or whatever, yeah.
Which is why we're going to lead to this very important message in this podcast, Hamish, but carry on.
Okay, for those of you that are wine drinkers, a standard glass of red wine is 1.6 standard drinks, and a glass of white is 1.4. Even on the Australian government website that Vic got this from, it admitted that this information was difficult to understand. I quote, "Be careful if you're drinking homebrew or any other alcohol that isn't labelled. If you don't know the concentration of alcohol, you won't be able to work out the number of standard drinks you're having."
Yeah.
Which is actually interesting because you never know the amount of alcohol in a drink if it's anything but a wine or a beer, right?
No.
Because even the variety of alcohol strength in a spirit, if you get a gin and tonic, it might be very strong in one place compared to the last place that you drank at.
And also, it depends how much sugar it's got in it. It depends on whether you've eaten, like all of these other aspects. So we're going to get into those. The point is here, it is extremely difficult to know how much you are drinking. The number of drinks you can have and still be under this limit varies based on factors. Alcohol affects each person differently. That's the point. Your BAC can be affected by, here we go, how much alcohol you drink and how regularly, how long you drink alcohol for, your weight, your age, how much food you eat and the length of time since you last ate, your fitness level, your liver function and health, your mood, your gender, and the type of alcoholic drinks you consume.
And I'm also guessing that actually the drink driving limit is probably different in different countries.
Yeah.
So it's not even a global rule.
No.
You've got to go, okay, well, I'm okay in Ireland, but I'm not okay in Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
That's insane. So unless you have a bleepy BAC machine, a watch, a weighing scale, some ID, a list of exactly what you've eaten that day and a fucking urine sample, it is almost impossible to know if you are over the limit.
Yeah, you pretty much need a scientist or a doctor with you,
Yeah.
don't you, Hamish, to go over this with, because it is actually impossible almost, unless you've got an app with you that does all this, to know how much you are drinking. And especially if you're spreading it out over a few hours. Like, even one drink's going to take you over the limit.
Well, actually, I can remember as a kid, when my parents never did it, but a few of my friends' parents would give them breathalyzers to have in the car.
Yeah.
Which is maybe sending the wrong message.
Yeah.
It's like, you own this, now you know you can drink up to it and then stop. Is it sending the right message or not? I don't know.
No, I don't think it is the right message, 'cause it's still saying you can have a drink and drive.
Yeah.
Like, test yourself. Like, what's your limits?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the right message. Are you surprised, Haim, that the government still says you can have one drink and control a vehicle?
I'm actually not. I mean, they're the ones making money from the alcohol, after all.
Yeah.
To me, it feels as if our generation, like I said earlier, is better at not drinking than that of our parents. But in my experience, those who live rurally are still doing it far more than those that live in a city.
Yeah, totally.
Remember I told you I used to work on this farm in Tassie? The gate that led from the farm to the road was exactly the duration of a tinny away from the bottle shop.
Right.
From that, I mean, people would buy a tinny from the bottle shop.
Yeah.
They would leave, they'd drive in my direction, and by the time it took them to drink that, they'd chuck it out the window. So there was hundreds of tinnies on this corner where I lived. And you know that all of them are not only drink driving, they're drinking whilst driving.
God.
All of them. It was a bizarre thing to see. Like, okay, this is exactly the amount of time it takes to drink a beer if you're travelling at 50 kilometres an hour on this road. Yeah, it was insane.
It's probably a very Aussie outback thing to do, is to like finish work, you know, you've got a long distance to drive. I'm sure there's people that sit with a can of beer drinking on their way home. I bet it's a very common thing.
Anyone that lives in the countryside.
Yeah.
My experience of it is it seems to happen more in the countryside. But where we live, for example, it's very difficult to get a taxi. So really, you can't get anywhere without driving. So in our experience, you always need a drink, you always need a designated driver, or people just wing it.
Yeah.
I'm sure where we live, masses of people drink drive.
Yeah.
No one lives walking distance to a pub. Everything's on the highway, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it happens all the time. Yeah.
What shocks me even more is how you see alcohol ads on billboards on motorways.
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware of that until I went sober. I was like, you're driving on a highway and there's a massive Forex ad. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, making us thirsty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or my local beach has got a drive-through bottle shop.
That is something you don't have in England, actually, is the drive-through bottle shops, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, that's really common over here.
But what you do have in England, which is probably worse, is we sell alcohol in petrol stations.
Yeah, and in the supermarkets.
Well, supermarkets is different to petrol stations, I think,
Yeah.
in my head.
In petrol stations do we sell it?
You can buy booze in petrol stations.
That's bizarre, isn't it, if you think about it?
That's just off.
Well, that's the problem with normalising alcohol in society. It's, oh, yeah, it's all right. I'm sure you can have one. That'll be fine. You're driving. Yeah, one's all right. That's all I hear when I'm out. It's like, oh, go on, one's fine. It's the same when you're pregnant.
Yeah.
It's like, it's this normalising of it everywhere you go that makes people believe that it's okay. And it's not. It's actually not okay.
But the other thing they've got in Australia is these courtesy buses. They will have a minibus at the pub that will drop you off home if you're too drunk.
To the bolo, they call it over here.
Is
the
it?
The bowls place, yeah.
So, is that something they have in England?
No, I
wasn't
don't
aware
know.
of
They
that.
have a
Or
bowls
doesn't-
club probably, but they don't call it the bolo,
No, not
mate.
bolos, courtesy buses.
Oh, right. I don't think they have.
We've got lawn bowls in England. But in England, it's only old people that play it, whereas here it's like cool young people who
Yeah, with tashes.
get drunk and listen to DJs.
Yeah.
What was your reaction? You've done masses of research for this episode. What were you thinking as you're reading these government websites saying you can drink as long as you only drink a few and then you can get in your car?
It's honestly made me really angry, this episode,
Really?
because of the wishy-washy, unclear information. If I was in charge of the world, Hamish, which I think probably will happen one day.
Concerning for all of us, yeah.
No, it'll be fine. Don't worry, it'll be good. I would say it has to be zero. Like, you cannot get in a car and drive because of this reason, because the information is so wishy-washy. Alcohol is, at the end of the day, even though it's my worst saying at the world, Hamish, going to shut you down. At the end of the day, mate, it's an addictive substance designed intrinsically to make you want another one.
Yep.
Now, this is the key point I want to get into here. I feel like these rules are setting people up for failure. Problem is, Haim, once that first drink is down the hatch, your first thought, for anyone like me, which is a lot of people I know, can I manage another one? Can I fit another one in? And because the information is so shit, you go, well, probably I can. So that one drink is doing the damage to your brain. It's making you make poor decision making, which is leading you to have another one. I would never intentionally get into a car drunk, but after one drink, once my inhibitions have drained out of my Birkenstocks, I would probably consider having another drink and then possibly another drink, and that's when I'm going to get tempted to go in the car because I'm not in my right state of mind.
Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Now, that is what the government is not considering here. They're saying stop at one, but they're saying having one alcoholic drink is all right, but stop. This is your responsibility. It's like gamble responsibly. Drink and drive responsibly. Yeah. They're putting the consequences and the onus of this subject onto the user. Whereas, of course, it's not designed for us to have one. It's not designed for us to be counting because we're drunk.
Actually, I heard a doctor this week talking about how we almost give this idea of willpower too much weight.
Right.
You know, I'll just stop after one. Like, these are chemicals that are far superior to however much willpower you believe that you have.
Totally agree.
We are biologically designed to chase things like dopamine or addictive substance like alcohol or sugar. It's far more powerful. And you go, well, it's not the right thing to do is to stop at one. Yeah. So yeah, sure, some people can. Of course, some people can. Yeah. But most people can't.
No.
Most people will have that second drink.
Yeah.
Particularly when you add onto it peer pressure, which is all of your friends saying, go on, you'll be fine. Just
one for the
more.
road.
Yeah.
One for the road.
And how often in your life have you ever actually been pulled over by the police and breathalyzed? I think I have been breathalyzed.
Yeah, twice.
Maybe once in my life. And I've been driving for almost 20 years.
Yeah. It's called a roadie, isn't it, here? Yeah. A drink to take with you when you go and get in the car.
Yeah.
Or you're walking home, hopefully. But this information is a point that's not really talked about, is it, Haim? It's like this, how this one leads to two, and then the two leads to three, and then you're in the car. Before you've had that one, you're not in any danger, so you can drive. But after you've had that one, you're considering a second one.
Interesting. So maybe the point here is that the issue is not drink driving. The issue is assuming people can stop at one.
This is my point. This is the point that I've uncovered writing this episode, because I would never really thought about it from that point of view before, but that is the problem. I don't think people who go out there to try and kill people on the streets, they're not evil. It happens because of that first drink.
So it's a gamble that the government's taking. It's a gamble. The government goes, you know what, we trust you, just stop after that first one.
Yeah.
And look at the stats. I mean, that gamble is not paying off.
That gamble is not paying off. So it's very clear what needs to be changed here.
People take the risk because the information is unclear. It's as simple as that. It would be so much better if the law just said, like Vic mentioned, no drinks at all if you're going to get behind the wheel of a car. Make that the norm. You have one drink and you are not allowed to drive, rather than people guessing that they're probably okay because it was only a mid-strength and I had it an hour ago.
Yeah.
I'm interested in finding out what makes us think that we are okay to drive after alcohol enters the body. That I'll be fine mode. What's behind that?
Yeah, that I'll be fine mode. That is the problem. It's not rational thinking, Hamish. I convinced myself I was safe. We all know that booze affects the brain. That's why we drank it for so long. So why do we kid ourselves? We can do an everyday act like drive when under the influence. We know it's having impact on our behaviour. That's why we did it for so many years. Yet we dismiss that gut feeling and hope it will all turn out all right. There was someone I used to know who would drink and drive all the time, Hamish. I used to hide his car keys. He used to live about an hour and a half from my house, and he would wake up and not remember how he got home. It was crazy. And then he'd see his car in the driveway. I think everybody knows this information. My friend wouldn't have gone out that night planning on doing that, but the alcohol affected his brain in a way that made him make a stupid decision to get into a car.
I've got a worse story than that. A friend of mine, not only would he drink and drive, so he lived, a 20-minute drive away from the nightclub. He didn't have a license.
Right.
So he would get drunk and then drive. I never did it with him, but like drive with a lot of our mates into town to party, go nightclubbing, and then drive back.
And not even have a license.
I hadn't even passed his test.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's just under the influence. Your brain is sort of not working right, is it?
Yeah. It's so disappointing that this information is so vague. So let's just be clear. Just one drink will reduce your ability to judge speed and distance. It'll give you a full sense of confidence and increased tendency to take risks. It will reduce coordination and concentration. It'll slow your reaction times and make you drowsy. And it will impair your vision and your perception of obstacles.
That is one drink.
That's one drink.
That is what the government recommend. Even though that's what it's doing to you, they're saying, oh, that's okay. It's fucking mental. Obviously, the more you have, the more these things deteriorate. The problem is when alcohol enters the body, your inhibitions exit. You feel relaxed and high and perhaps a little bit like you can get away with things you wouldn't normally do, like sleep with that weird bloke that's on the pokey machine or buy a holiday to the Antarctic or drive. Basically, after consuming alcohol, your decision-making gets a bit askew and you make really stupid mistakes.
Overconfidence may lead to risk-taking, and these mistakes can mean you end up in a prison cell for the night, like Vic did, hurting others and ruining your life. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
That sounded harsher when it came out of your mouth.
I never meant to hurt others or ruin my life.
I don't think you ruined your life, but you certainly blemished it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
We've got a friend of both Vic and I's, Penny, in the studio with us today, who's got first-hand experience of drink driving. So, Penny, firstly, thank you for coming in. This is obviously probably not high on the list of topics you want to talk about when you wake up. I imagine there's a level of guilt or shame involved. So thank you for sharing your story. I guess the obvious place to start is to ask you what happened on that night.
So my neighbour is a good friend of mine, and she said, come and have a couple of drinks. And so I went and had a couple of drinks there. But I think I'd actually had a couple of drinks before I went to her house. Mm-hmm. So then ended up being around 4 wines, and then got in the car and drove.
So was this the first time you'd ever driven having had a drink, or did you say you sort of began pushing the boundaries at this stage in your life? I'll drive after 1 drink, I'll drive after 2, I'll drive after 3, or was this the worst?
It was the worst, yeah. And I had only driven a few times just to get that second bottle of wine literally around the corner. And, it was just a habit that I probably should never have started, because I think you do just get a bit more confident. And
you think you dozed off in that car. Were you at a standstill when you dozed off? Were you moving? Yeah, what did it result in?
So I was driving along, and I just smashed into this lady's front yard because I just woke up, and obviously I'd just been drinking. So I was still pretty drunk. I don't remember any of this. Apparently I was hugging everyone at the scene, which is ridiculous and embarrassing.
Okay, so you weren't injured? No one was injured?
I wasn't injured. Apparently I had my head on the steering wheel and I was asleep for a bit, and then I woke up when they were all coming to help me. So I really cheated death yet again.
When did your memory of the night kick in, or did it not kick in until the following morning?
It was the next morning. I woke up in the jail cell, which was just insanely shocking, I suppose.
What then happens? Do they sort of say, hey, this is what happened last night, and slowly start piecing it together?
I was finally released. I went back to sleep for a bit, and then I was released from there, and the police officer gave me a brief rundown, said I nearly hit another lady and that kind of thing, and then they literally just push you out the door. When I got a cab back to the car, and I thought I would actually be able to drive it home. I had no idea. They weren't able to tell me whether it was a write-off or not, and I thought it would be fine. And I got back to the car, and I was just picking pieces off the road, putting it in the boot, and I had to call my dad. And the last person in the world I would want to call, because that's just another level of shame, because my dad's just a very good man, and I knew that this would bring a lot of shame to the family, and I just couldn't believe it. I was still in shock.
I imagine, you've got the hangover, you've got the lack of memory, you get home. When does the penny drop? When does the emotion hit and you realise what you've done?
When I got home, it was very depressing. I just wanted to sleep off more of the hangover. So I had a shower and I got into bed and I did go back to sleep for a while. And then that night I was able to go to an AA meeting. And in those really tough times when you need someone, one of my old friends from AA, because I did have a year of sobriety a couple of years earlier, she picked me up and cooked me dinner and took me to a meeting. So that was really amazing. They do have some really good people there and they're a good place to turn, when life is really that bad.
And then what comes after this? Are there court cases? Yeah, what?
The case was around a month later. And then lo and behold, a couple of days later, my name was in the newspaper. And it was a best friend from high school who told me that she read a story about me and was really worried. And I was absolutely mortified.
Mm. What was the headline of the newspaper article?
Oh, I think it was something like drunk mum. It was something about being a mum.
Okay, so it's sort of...
very shameful.
Exactly. Shaming on a media scale.
Yeah, and that was just the worst. I mean, I feel like the all this other stuff I could probably push it aside and move on, but having that permanent record of a newspaper article out there was something that I really had to process.
Well, the penny sitting in front of me is sober. How did you deal with the shame at the time? Were you able to stay sober during the reading of the newspaper article, the immediate aftermath? Was the shame and the stigma, oh no, I'm the drunk mum on the media scale enough to keep you sober, or did you find it hard?
It was enough to keep me sober. Just the shock value of this whole thing is what I just knew I had to. Mm-hmm. And I'd had a few other run-ins with death. I feel like I cheated death since I was a big drinker, really, which was when I was probably, 18, which is just crazy that for 20 years I've just been doing silly things, putting myself in really dangerous situations. And there were a few other situations I had where I would wake up in hospital. So that was really shameful. And that was the reason I quit the first time. And then I got complacent with moderation. It just catches up with you, I think, if you're not careful. And, you go through a breakup or throw something really bad into the picture and it can be a right mess.
How do you look back on that event? How do you feel about it today? Is there still guilt and shame? Do you see it as this great turning point in your life that helped long term? Or how do you think about it?
I feel like it was the only way that would stop me in my tracks. Like I had to go through something really serious to stop me. So I see that as really ridiculous that I just couldn't sort of follow basic rules of don't drink and drive. It had to get to a point where I was like drinking and driving and landing on the other side of the road and waking up in a jail and all these things I never thought I would ever do.
And as a mum, have you shared this story with your kids? Do you intend to when they get to an age when they're drinking or have got a driving license or that sort of age?
I definitely will tell them everything. I think, yes, at the end of the day, I do have a story that was shameful, but I have turned it around and I'm hoping that my kids will see that and learn from that and know that if they go down that path, they could have that same fate. So I'm hoping that I will convince them to not do the things that I did and just keeping that open communication because I didn't really have that with my parents too much. So I'm hoping that the more I talk with them about all of this, that they will make better decisions.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much, Penny.
That's okay.
It's not an easy story to tell, so I appreciate you coming in. And
that's okay.
Hopefully whoever hears your story might take some lessons from it and learn as well.
Yes, hopefully before it's too late because, I could have died and it's just crazy that I was prepared to put my kids through that. And now it's my chance to just turn everything around and be the success story and live happily ever after.
Yes, that's what we want.
We're going to put some sober, awkward laws into place, Hamish. What do you think?
Sounds right.
I know for me, if I went out and was driving, even if I promised to only have one, once that one was down the hatch, I would be questioning if having another one was okay. The call of booze was stronger than me. No matter how good my intentions, I would find myself up at the bar asking for another, even though I'd be over the limit. I'm just being honest here. That's exactly what I did. Usually I left the car at home or I left it at the pub and went to pick it up the next day when I was still probably over the limit, but I probably always had more than one drink. And I remember going into situations like going to parties thinking I'm going to drive and I'm going to drive home and always leaving my car there because I never, ever fulfilled what I meant to. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I went into every situation going, I'm going to drive tonight, and always had to ditch my car because once I had one, everything else didn't matter anymore and I was there for the night to be with my mates. Nothing was going to stop me.
Tell me if you've come across this in your research or not. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to sleep in your car drunk if you have the car keys on you.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Were you aware of this? I can remember if we ever slept in a car, which would be, in a field after a 21st birthday, I would put the car key on the wheel outside the car.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure if a policeman, man or woman, stops you, even if you're not driving the car, but you're in it with the car keys, that might be complete bollocks.
Yeah.
But I remember always putting the key outside and thinking, oh, I've got them.
I always remember when I travelled through Kenya as a kid. Sounds very posh, Hamish, doesn't it? Me and my parents were on holiday there, and they had this kind of crazy President Moi, I think he was really corrupt. And one of the laws there was if you ran over someone when you were drunk, they let you off because you didn't know what you were doing. But if you were sober, you got put in prison.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, you were allowed to sort of drink and drive there. It was actually better for you.
So you're like, I promise I'm drunk.
I promise, officer. Look at this bottle of vodka under my seat. Yeah, really weird rules. I'm sure there's a lot of odd rules around drinking and driving, aren't there? All over the world. We have to find some out.
But trusting humans to only have one drink and then stop before driving is a bit like giving a toddler 2 sweets and telling them they can only eat one.
Yeah.
We just can't do it. Your brain is slightly pickled after one, and then choices become abnormal and out of character.
Exactly. I'm not a bad person, Hamish. I know you beg to differ there.
I strongly disagree.
I'm not, I promise. I was a good person making poor decisions when under the influence. I'm not excusing my behaviour. I'm just saying that alcohol played a part in these choices and that having just one was a slippery slope. The wishy-washy information combined with my need for more caused me to get behind the wheel. Even though I knew choosing to drink and drive was choosing to abandon all sense of responsibility and care for others, which is crazy.
I'm just thinking your law would be good for the taxi business.
Yes.
Also environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
If it's you plus a taxi driver, there's always at least 2 persons in that car.
Car share.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, very good.
For environmental reasons, we should be going...
sober.
Yeah. But yeah, this is clearly a law that needs to be changed, because this here is what causes people to drink and drive, that first drink. That's why none at all is the answer. I think we should start a campaign, Vic, because we've hit the nail on the head here. Here's the slogan. You ready for it?
Right, I'm ready.
Drinking one makes you want 2, so better to have none.
We need to get a better tagline than that.
We're one tagline away from changing the...
None is better than one.
None is better than one.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, this is the better way that you can help yourself and keep others safe. And counting your drinks is definitely not the answer.
Of course, number 1 is just stick to your sobriety. This is the only way to ensure you never drink drive. Leave your car at home. If you left it in the pub car park, you will be tempted to just wing it.
Yeah, that is so true. Tell your friends you're not drinking tonight. Go there knowing that driving is not an option.
Make alternative arrangements. Consider public transport, rideshare, or organising a friend to be the designated driver. Just don't even consider having that one drink, is our advice, because we all know where that leads.
Consider the impact it could have on your life and others, even your kids, like you not being able to drive. This will make you feel huge shame long term and could, in worst case scenario, devastate other people's lives. I was lucky that I didn't hurt anyone that night. Not everyone is, Hame.
Shockingly, 30% of fatal crashes in Australia are attributed to drink driving. This harrowing stat underscores the urgent need for a collective effort to address this serious issue.
If everyone avoided driving after drinking, around 50 lives could be saved every year in Australia. 50 people that could still be here. 50 families that wouldn't have to deal with the loss of their loved ones. There are people in prisons all over Australia that thought they were going out for just one and ended up staying for another. They're not always bad people. They're just people like me and my guest that made poor choices because we thought we'd be okay.
And because alcohol is so normalised in society and it's everywhere we go, we just keep on doing it. We think that we have to drink to be social, to be liked, to fit in, but the impact of alcohol reaches further than that fun time down the pub. It destroys lives in so many ways beyond closing time.
We hope this episode helps you to understand that drinking nothing at all, no matter how awkward, is the best way to keep everyone safe. This might take time and therapy and lots of listening to us 2 idiots, but it will be the best gift you ever give yourself.
Thank you so much to Penny today. We know that this has been a very heavy episode, but it is a hugely important one. Do you feel shame about your drink driving, Vic?
Yeah, I do, but I also understand it was one of the things that happened to me that led me to quitting. I am just glad it wasn't worse, and I feel like it was a warning for me. One, unlike all the other red flags I listened to and never did again. Don't let a night of fun turn into a lifetime of regret. Don't drink and drive.
That's a better slogan.
We should nick that one, shouldn't we? I'm a careful driver now, though, Hamish. I'm actually a very good driver.
You are not a good driver.
What do you mean?
Okay, so I don't know how many times you had driven me at night before you said to me, you just leant over to me in the car and went, sorry, Haim, I really can't see when I drive at night. Vic, you've been driving me at night for months. I just thought you were bad at Google Maps. You know, Vic is a classic example of someone who's always blaming Google Maps. Oh, that's changed. No, it said it was 3.5 kilometres away, 3.5 kilometres ago. So yeah, no, I wouldn't say you're a good driver.
Yeah.
Because you can't see. You're good given the amount that you can see. Given the fact you can't see much, compared to the general public, I would say you are not a great driver.
That reminds me of the taxi driver I had in Bali once. Me and my family were all in the back and he turned around and said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm blind. We were like, what do you mean you're blind? He was a terrible driver, of course. He was
your inspiration.
I think he was using sound.
Was he just playing a dip, 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 like a bat?
Yeah. No, the sound of other people, not his sound. Car horns beeping when they crashed into us mostly. Yeah, I have crashed a few cars in my time. Sober, yeah.
I can remember the first time I bought a car with Liz. She was like, oh, I've written off every car I've ever bought. I was like, why did you tell me that before I went halves on this car with you?
Yeah. What was your first car, Hamish?
It was, it only lasted 3 months.
Oh,
and
God.
then we didn't write it off. We took it in to the mechanic and they lifted it up. And they said, there's so much oil pouring out of this car, we're not even going to charge you.
Yeah, right.
They just took it straight to the dump. I don't even know what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about cars, though.
No, I don't.
I feel like buying a car is the time in my life when I feel most vulnerable. I'm most open to being fucked over by someone selling me the car.
I had a Morris Minor. My parents bought me a Morris Minor for my birthday.
You're quite proud of that Morris
Minor. Yeah, it was
Minor.
a great car. I could start it with a 2p piece.
Yeah.
And I'd only ever been in the slow lane of the motorway for like 5 years when I first had a car because it couldn't go any faster.
What was top speed?
Oh, it was like 50 miles an hour or something.
Yeah.
It was brilliant, though. I had a little stereo, had all my little rave tapes, all my rave buddies in the back, and we used to go mushroom picking on the downs.
That's the trick if you're a parent, is buy your kid the shittest car that can only go 50. You're like, well, that's going to limit how bad any accident can be.
It's probably a good
Rubbish
idea.
car.
Yeah. I just want to say at the end of this episode, I am going to just hammer that point a little bit here. Like, we've all made mistakes. Everybody's entitled to make mistakes. And drink driving is a massive mistake, isn't it? That people make all the time. I don't think they're evil people that are out there to kill everyone, like we said earlier. It's people making this choice because their brain has been a little bit befuddled by that one standard drink. And then it goes on. And writing this made me actually really angry the more I thought about it. It is such shit information that the government are giving. I don't know how we can help change this rule, Hamish, but I think we need to start some sort of petition to say, look, it's that one drink that you're allowing which is making all of this happen. That is my theory here, and we'll have to maybe find out what the government have to say about this. Our theory, Hamish. I'm going to approach someone.
Next week we'll have the Prime Minister on.
Yeah. But I'm going to get a billboard.
You're going to do a picket fence?
Yeah, I'm going to do I'm going to tie myself to Government House, naked probably.
Yeah. Okay, we should do.
Yeah, just to attract the crowds. And I'm going to get pissed off about this.
Yeah, I'm going to get pissed.
Yeah, I'm going to
get pissed and naked and
look at this
and handcuff myself.
Look what it's doing to me. Yeah, don't worry, it won't be that relapse episode that we keep talking about. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you're questioning your relationship with booze, you're struggling to moderate, or your hangovers are causing anxiety, it might be time to reach out for some support.
Yeah, just talk to a mate about how you're feeling, contact a local doctor, find an AA or sobriety group. Vic's got one.
Yeah, just head to www.cuppa.community.
Remember, if you're questioning yourself, it might be time to seek support.
Even though this journey can be awkward, it is definitely worth it. And if you've enjoyed the Sober Awkward podcast, don't forget to review it, rate it, and share it with your mates.
Do they have to share it with their mates?
Yeah, of course they do. I'm not doing this for nothing, Hamish. Bloody hell.
How do they share it?
I don't know, just write it on the...
Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Hey, I'm Paige DeSorbo, and I'm always thinking about underwear.
I'm Hannah Berner, and I'm also thinking about underwear, but I prefer full coverage. I like to call them my granny panties.
Actually, I never think about underwear. That's the magic of Tommy John.
Same. They're so light and so comfy, and if it's not comfortable, I'm not wearing it.
And the bras, soft, supportive, and actually breathable.
Yes, Lord knows the girls need to breathe. Also, I need my PJs to breathe and be buttery soft and stretchy enough for my dramatic tossing and turning at night. That's why I live in my Tommy John pajamas.
Plus, they're so cute because they fit perfectly.
Put yourself on to Tommy John.
Upgrade your drawer with Tommy John. Save 25% for a limited time at TommyJohn.com/comfort. See site for details.
So, as you probably know, my comedy memoir, 1,000 Wasted Sundays, is officially out. All my magnificent fuck-uppery in one awkward hit. If you'd like to get your hands on a copy, it's now available from all good bookstores.
We always say all good bookstores, don't we?
Yeah.
Are there bad bookstores?
No, it's probably ones with moody sellers.
Oh yeah, really depressed librarian folk.
Yes,
okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah. So there are probably some, but we're only storing it in the good ones.
It's only made it into the goodies.
You can also get it from all good online retailers. The print version and ebook are out now, and the audiobook will be available in March. I've been writing my memoir for 5 years. It will make you laugh, cry and cringe, and hopefully inspire a few people to reconsider their relationship with booze. If you love the podcast, then I think you'll love the book, even if I do say so myself. Hamish has read it. What did you think?
I feel like I know a little bit too much about you now, to be honest, Vic. Look, I really loved it. It was hilarious and surprisingly moving, but I feel like I've seen you naked in a literary sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's worrying.
Yeah. From an emotional point of view, seriously, it wobbled my teeny weeny wooden heart, Vic.
Okay.
My teeny little wooden heart.
Well, his wooden heart is broken. Anyway, so if you do manage to get your filthy mitts on a copy, please do me a favour and head to goodreads.com and give me a review. Doing that will help me get it out there to those that need a bit of sober support. So there you have it. My story, unwanted warts and all. Come and get awkward with me.
Not to be too demanding or anything, but seriously, go and buy it now.
Go and buy it. Go and buy it right now.
Yeah, don't just tell your friends, buy it, and then buy your friends one or two.
Yeah, don't give them a copy, buy it. Yeah.
And you know what? Don't be careful where you store it. If you lose it, you can always buy another 5.
Buy another one.
Yeah.